Now, we finally got information on Endless Stream and RaidZone as well in the official Once Human Discord. Not only is there a bombshell on this, two bombshells, it is a massive patch, two new scenarios, and I guess I'll say it right now, both are releasing into early access tomorrow. If you're seeing this video after a day was posted, they're already available. Now, note, they are early access tagged, which comes with the downside of not including the visual wheel, but I don't think that really matters. So, to put it bluntly, we knew RaidZone was coming out about 12 hours before the announcement, which is really exciting. It is a Rust-like PvP scenario. I know I'm super excited for that. It is effectively a Rust-style scenario where none of your mods, blueprints, or anything carry over, and it's isolated progression for an even playing ground or playing field with PvP, which is pretty awesome. The only thing I want to know about that scenario more is what rewards you get out of it for playing a RaidZone wipe, effectively. But the main topic of this video, and why I wanted to jump on and make it so damn quick, is Endless Stream is dropping into early access. Again, if you're seeing this video after a day, today. Endless Stream is literally coming out tomorrow in early access. The new PvE scenario. This is a shadow drop, an absolute bombshell that we did not expect to happen. And I actually am quite baffled right now that this is happening. Like, no one saw this coming. And not only that, there's a second layer to this whole thing. It's the full map. So, if you remember way back when Endless Stream first got announced and teased, it was said to be both a version for Way of Winter and Manibus, and they'll be separate scenarios. Well, we finally have confirmation that after a bunch of feedback from the community, they decided to put the work in and combine both of the maps into one scenario. Yes, that means both Way of Winter's map and Manibus's map are both accessible on the same scenario together, and this is absolutely happening. This is legitimate now. This is something they basically didn't have originally, but they got so much feedback from the community, they stuck their heads down and worked on the technology to make it happen. This is one of the best announcements I have ever seen for the Once Human community and has me beyond excited. And I actually can't believe this, that we finally not only have a new PvE scenario that shadow dropped into early access, it is the full map and it features its whole own mechanics as well. So there's so much to look forward to. Now, that said, the left side of the map that we haven't explored yet will not be in this scenario. The new Endless Stream scenario is the full map so far. And what that means is we have both Way of Winter and Manibus. You don't have that left side. That is most likely for a future scenario. But we have a bunch of details and gameplay rules about what the Endless Stream actually is. So I'm going to read through it here. In short, Endless Stream is a scenario that once again combines both of the maps, and it effectively features what are called dream zones, or I'm going to refer to them as pocket dimensions for lack of better simple terms. These pocket dimensions, known as dream zones, are alternate, I guess, realities or dimensions that you will go back and forth between that have unique appearances and, I guess, kind of, it's interesting because we don't know too much still other than this small amount of text we've been given. But at a baseline, dream zones are layers of nested dreams, or so, here we go. Layers of nested dream zones encroach upon the wilderness, each featuring unique environmental traits and combat effects. As you venture deeper into the nightmare, your effects stack and multiply. As a metahuman, your mission is to purify these layered zones. So effectively, there's these alternate realities, these pocket dimensions known as dream zones that you have to purify. And you will be able to freely build in these pocket dimensions or these dream zones without a territory terminal. So this sort of, I guess, could almost think of it as a primor in like an alternate dimension and an alternate pocket reality, which is a really cool concept because not only is it going to visually change to a new point of interest or a new location that we've never seen before, and you can even see some of these new locations inside the trailer for Endless Stream, but this sort of takes this whole sort of horror HP Lovecraft approach and really deep dives into it. And I think this is a scenario that's going to go much heavier on the lore from anything we've played in the past, which is also pretty exciting, as I'm not really a lore player. I'm mainly a PvP player, but I've started to get more into the PvE recently since PvP has been lacking into RaidZone, and I've started to have a bit of an interest in the world building of this game. I think it's done really well. It just hasn't been utilized to its full potential in storytelling. And I think that's where this scenario is making up for that lack of storytelling in previous scenarios. The trailer alone for this scenario is hella cool, by the way. I'm going to chuck the link in the description. I'll probably even have it playing as background footage. But Endless Dream and RaidZone is finally here. Endless Dream, again, other than those brief details I mentioned with the pocket dimensions, aka Dream Zones as they're officially called, we don't know much more than that. We don't know what the point of interest will be, the rewards will be, or anything like that. That is something we get to find out, like, fresh as a new player, everyone tomorrow. No one had early access. Well, this is the early access, but no one had closed access to Endless Dream. Absolutely no one. No one knows anything about this scenario until tomorrow, which is insanely exciting. We're probably for the first time ever jumping into something where no one has any idea of what to expect. Now, you could say the same for Way of Winter, but there was preview access to that scenario, a bunch of YouTube videos, and much more deep dives on dev streams as well. This time, no dev streams, no gameplay. All we have is a trailer and a basic outline of how the scenario works, and that it finally combines both of the maps. That's all we know. Other than that, it's a fresh experience. It's a bunch of new content that we've been asking for a long time. And it's kind of crazy how sudden this was. And I don't want to dwindle on that sort of me being excited for too long and jump onto RaidZone, which is the second early access scenario dropping tomorrow as well. That's right, 2 entire new scenarios, basically shadow dropping out of nowhere. Well, into early access, sure, but early access is still going to be on the main client. They're still selectable scenarios. The only con is that you won't have the visual wheel tags on these new scenarios. Now, RaidZone is not necessarily a scenario, but a game mode. It is effectively a Rust-like PvP survival experience in the open world. It completely changes the dynamic of the game for PvP players especially. Now, there was a closed test for this game mode about a month ago or half a month ago, I can't quite remember, where we actually got to see what it was about, and it's pretty cool. So, in short, the, I guess, scenario itself is, again, Rust-like in the sense that all of the progression is isolated. None of your blueprints, mods, or attachments or anything are going to cross over to the scenario. You also can't inherit anything from Eternal Land in RaidZone. So the sort of fundamental aspect is every piece of progression you do on RaidZone is on RaidZone. That's its whole own thing, which is pretty cool. And there's also a bunch of gameplay changes as well. So much like Rust, there's no teleporting. You can only place a terminal and you can't move it afterward. Like, you can relocate your base in other scenarios. You also cannot get OP gear. Critical Pulse, Bingo, Jaws, all of that can't be found here. This is a pure run and gun, baseline survival PvP experience that a lot of people have been wanting to hopefully revamp and redraw the attention for PvP players like myself. And I'm very excited about this. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I think we can now finally, hopefully, have a resurgence in PvP. I think this is someone that, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, has participated in the closed test. This scenario has a lot of potential. It is straight up PvP. There's no, I guess, how do you put it? There's no grindy aspects, if you will. It's a very friction, like, a lot of friction has been removed to make this scenario not only new player friendly, but also competitive. It's not about who has better gear. It's about who has better awareness, game sense, movements, aim, all of that. The actual core elements that make a good PvP experience can be found here. So not only is it going to bring new players in, a lot of new players, it's also going to hopefully bring back players that enjoy PvP in this game and create a more competitive environment, which is very exciting. So your mods will exist here, but they won't be as like, you won't import your main mods from your main character. You also will drop all of your gear on death. It's PvP on from the get-go. I probably should have mentioned that. There is absolutely no safe zones. It is PvP everywhere you go, like Rust. There might be safe zones in the settlements. I'm actually not sure on that. But other than that, full-on PvP everywhere. Drop gear on death. If you log out in RaidZone, your body will still remain, so you can be looted. And, of course, leads to things in Rust like offline raiding. But there is a safe time or safe period, I think, where bases will take reduced damage, similar to how it worked in Prism versus Clash, where there was, I think, a 70% explosive damage reduction during certain times of the day. That's also similar here. So while you could get offline raided, it's going to be not incentivized in the sense that you raiding at peak times on your region will be more desired effectively, which is quite cool. I think that's a nice way to sort of prevent that whole toxic offline raiding culture. Much will still be a thing though. Probably becomes offline camping if anything, so you can set up strategies, but I think this is a great step in the right direction for PvP. Great step in the right direction for PvE. What a bombshell. Full map. Whole new PvE scenario. Wow. All in 2 days time from announcement. That's crazy. I think the craziest part is they didn't even say any of this stuff about endless stream on the dev stream. It was just a complete shadow drop. Literally a complete shadow drop. Out of nowhere, they dropped this information. So, effectively, this scenario, again, is tagged as early access. You'll be able to join it like you would any other scenario. They're going to open more servers as they see fit. So if they get populated quickly, which I assume they would. And we even got confirmation. I know some people were skeptical, but yeah, this is pretty exciting. This is pretty exciting. So again, I want to show the screenshot from Jaeger because he posted underneath it just to reassure people. So by the first time they thought through the idea of the endless stream, it is not a full map. And then he goes on to say, then they heard back from the community, us, that we wanted the full map, and they made it happen. That is a game developer that is actively listening to the community on fundamental and pivotal changes around a massive system in their game. This technological advancement for them was no simple feat. From what I've heard, combining both of the maps was quite complicated for them. And they went through that work to make the players happy. And that is why I love this game. And I think, you know, as much as some people don't like Once Human, I think they are trying to be a game that respects the players. They've, you know, introduced the gem system with Lightforge crates. Whether you like them or not, I don't mind them. It's cosmetic. The game is not pay to win. New scenarios literally tomorrow or today if you're, you know, watching this video after a day. Wow, what a time. What a time. I can't believe this is happening. We will have full patch notes, hopefully, within the next half a day, but I really just wanted to make this video to clarify and discuss the hot topic of the day, which is Endless Stream is literally coming out tomorrow. And I pretty much want to leave it there. I'll do a follow-up video with the detailed patch notes, which goes over the other changes that are happening in the game, like Starfall, inverse rewards, and optimizations, other changes made to the game. We've also made some client changes for performance as well, but we don't have the full patch notes yet. But when we do, I'll make a follow-up video on that as well. That's all I want to talk about. I'll see you guys in Nalcott. Man, I can't wait. I'm also going to be back live on Twitch streaming the fuck out of both of these scenarios. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.